that we've seen. So we need to do that as fast as we can, but I mean, it's a medium to long-term plan.
But what about the banks? Oluwaseun, what about the banks? In this, they also happen to be sticking out like very sore thumbs, because apart from the fact that you look to them to give you affordable loans to start your business, you also look at them to stabilize. That's like a barometer to measure what actually happens in the economy, for them to stay stable. And then we still have issues of rising non-performing loans.
I think for one challenge I have with us as Nigerians is we're always in a hurry. I mean, if we've put structures in place, it needs time to manifest. Like Wale said, we're seeing FX converging. Prices before today, nobody was pricing at 305. People were pricing at 500. I mean, you go to shops and you tell them, oh, dollar has come down. They tell you, well, I bought when dollar was 500. So by the time they begin to restock, things will get better. The man owning the bank has more liquidity to pay. He can afford to hire more people. And then business will get better. But we don't even seem to be patient enough to allow those things to even come to see the fruition. I mean, for me, I'm really encouraged that, yes, it's possible we all have predicted that they will keep the rates, and they changed it. But we've seen that patience, we need to be patient. We'll need to learn to be patient and begin to see that, okay, policies actually work. If you don't allow time for policies to work, then we'll be back at the same sort. For the banks, as the economy improves, it will also impact on them. Well, if the economy does not get better, if there's forex supply, adequate supply for the forex exchange, everything begins to work. Because whether we like it or not, like Wale also said, until we begin to see alternative to accruing foreign reserves, we'll be back to the same spot. So by the time those alternatives begin to manifest, I'm sure the banks will get better.
Well, I wonder if Ayodele shares that same optimism, because I'll still go back to the way the economy is. Taking a look at, for instance, the equities market, we've seen more majorly domestic players rather than foreign portfolio investors in that segment of the market, and that most likely will continue. That's what most analysts say. Do you agree?
Okay, so we have seen portfolio investors, we've seen PFAs, foreign players come into the market. The foreign players will not come if there is no stability in the FX. And if they are not sure that when they need to repatriate their funds, in addition to the capital gains, there will be enough liquidity for them to repatriate. The current policy, I'm sure they are waiting and see how long the Central Bank is able to sustain this. I see them when they feel that they are comfortable that Central Bank has a capability to sustain this, and they can repatriate their fund and when due, they will come in. Again, we've seen in the last few months high yield on fixed income securities. Treasury bill at 22% yield for 1 year money. Now, and the funds have moved to that segment of the market. We've seen performances from quoted companies, not impressive performance because of the increase in cost, FX problem. That may likely reduce this year. Once they release good results, the performances are good, investors will bring in money to invest in the market, which will also create activities. And so that's my view.
And so do you also get the impression, and this is not for anybody in particular, but you can just weigh in on this, do you also get the impression that now there's a better handshake between the fiscal and the monetary authorities, and it also shows that the CBN is basically being allowed to run its show?
I think the handshake is gradually coming in.
Maybe it's not yet a full handshake.
Yeah,
maybe the fingers are touching. Yeah. And then as things go by, it would become a full handshake. And I think, again, CBN is beginning to take better responsibility towards its primary assignments, which I believe has a way. There's always a spiral effect. If everybody does their part, things will work out.
I've always felt that CBN at the beginning, most of last year and the year before, had overstretched itself. and sometimes even walked out of his mandate. And I feel that gradually the fiscal policy managers are now waking up to responsibilities and insisting that they be part of this show, because we can't really get out of this recession without fiscal policy makers and the monetary policy makers coming together to shake us and be on the same page. Most of last year they were on different pages, but this year we're seeing them converging to the same page gradually, which will all go well for the economy.
Yeah. So, Wale, let's take some last moments from you.
Well, I think we need the handshake. I mean, if we want to bring back this economy to where we want it to be. And this growth is not a 1%, 2% growth. That's suboptimal. Nigeria has the capacity to do 10% if we fix critical issue in power sector, in the infrastructure space, and so on. So, I mean, the handshake is extremely necessary. They need to come together. I think some of the comments the CBN governor made earlier, saying the advice, the NEC, and, you know, I mean, both parties were able to yield the advice, and we saw some convergence in the FX space.
All right, Ayodele, last words from you for today.
I think it's good for the two authorities, the fiscal and the monetary authorities, to align their policies and speak the same language. However, we must not take away the independence of the central bank. Fiscal authorities are purely politicians. The central bank is there to rein in some of their excesses, which may be inflationary in nature. And therefore, when they make any policy pronouncements that may increase inflation, they will be there to tighten and to ensure that they have price stability.
Ayodele Akinwumi, Head of Research, FSDH Merchant Bank; Oluwaseun Adesoye, Chief Executive Officer, Associate Asset Managers; Olawale Olusi, Senior Analyst, Investment Research, AfriInvest; and Dolapo Ashiru, CEO, Lead Securities and Investments. Thank you so much for being on the panel today and sharing your perspectives with us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
And that's been the live Channels Television live coverage and studio panel discussion for the second Monetary Policy Committee for the year. Thank you so much for being such great company. I'm Harriet Agminyi. Top of the hour is News Track.